Well, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. I hope you're having a great Monday. So, today I want to talk about something that I've noticed a lot in the headlines now that the GOP Republicans have taken over. And I've noticed it in the sports card hobby as well. And what is that? Well, to start us off with, we have Michael Rubin, who has, become the trailblazer of our industry, according to Michael Rubin. His company has monopolized the entire sports card market. And, I'm sure, for a lot of people, this guy might be your hero, He's not my hero, when I look at this individual, I just believe he's someone who is destroying the sports card hobby for a lot of good people. And I know a lot of these wealthy sports card people will always tell you to go and buy your, junk wax singles, those are affordable, 90s cards, whatever. But let's face it, if you're like me, you want the good cards. But, people like Michael Rubin have decided that his monopoly is not going to bend the knee to middle class, low income people, who are struggling. It's all about wealthy people. And what wealthy people want, wealthy people get. And then we get a lot of gaslighting that goes with it. Here I am just on X, And, if you know about Michael Rubin, I did a previous episode, where we dug into his white diddler label, So in that aspect, I kind of believe he's kind of a creeper, to say the least. Definitely not my favorite sort of person. But, one thing I've noticed about the GOP taking over this time is we are getting gaslighted to no end, because we know how the GOP reacts. When prices were up under our previous President Biden, all I heard from members of the Republican Party is, oh, prices are so high. How could you do that to us? And let's face it, since Donald Trump's taken over office, I have seen nothing but prices shoot up. Here we have this headline I just picked up. GOP congressman tells Americans prices are up for the good of the country. Well, let's face it, prices are up for the good of the country for the 1%. He should have finished off that statement, because that's what it's all about today. For me, I have been a Republican. I have been a Democrat. I don't like any party anymore. I just have learned that I am anti-politician. If you're in a politician, my theory is, hey, these politicians built this alligator Alcatraz. Well, that's the Republicans I'm most at. But if I could do it, I would put all politicians in alligator Alcatraz, and the people would be out doing their things. Why? Because, I'm 50 years old. I've learned what destroys this country. It's always the politicians. So anyway, like it says here, Republican South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman has claimed that while prices are going up, or it's for the good of the country, okay? That's called gaslighting. That's called when prices are up under the other party, they cry and cry and cry and scream. But when prices are up for the Republicans, it's for the good of the country. Got it. And this comments were made during the Fox News appearance. Big surprise. I don't watch cable news. I just view Fox News as that's what old people watch. Anyway. A Fox poll recently showed that 44% of Americans backed the president on the economy. Similarly, 6 out of 10 Americans blame Trump for driving up the cost of living, according to a recent poll. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I think a lot of people are seeing higher prices, said Norman on Saturday. Our family's in the construction business, and we get a lot of our timber from Canada and other countries. Yes, it's higher. Steel prices are up, but it's for the good of the country. Yeah. Now, we went over that. We know how Michael Rubin and the 1% like to just gaslight us to no end. he isn't gaslighting us as directly as, say, this congressman is, but it is what it is. So let's face it. When you look at sports cards, and I know that this release of the Sapphire Edition, Bowman and Topps, but let's face it, we have a hobby that's tending to act the same way. Prices are up for the good of the hobby. But really, we know that it's not for the good of the hobby. It's for the good of the 1%. And unfortunately, we're living in a world where everything seems to be revolving around that 1% currently. Now, I know that they're still trying to hype up this product. And this has been one of their big products, and you can buy this 2025 Bowman Sapphire Edition baseball box. You can buy one for $1,299.95. One Chrome Prospect autograph card per box. Whoop whoop. 3 Sapphire parallels per box. Look for black refractor autographs. Find one of one Papradacious Sapphire parallels. Is this wearing thin on you yet? Is the hobby 1% just, gaslighting us to the nth degree here? Here's a 2025 Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition hobby box. One auto per box. And this is a pre-sale, and they're asking. This is on eBay, $999.99. Well, if you have that much money, I'd probably, recommend that you don't buy this box, to be quite honest. I'm sure there's others won't even think twice about it. But, the hobby gurus on YouTube, I've noticed a lot of them have to be wealthy to always be purchasing this stuff, ripping it open. And, they'll sit there and stand up for these prices too a lot of the time. Sometimes they'll dig into, why are these so high? But, it seems like they just go with the flow. And that's what I mean is, are you satisfied with the current state of hobby gaslighting? Because at these prices, that's all it's becoming, is gaslighting to an extent. It's not about the hobby anymore. It's about funding Michael Rubin's billion-dollar lifestyle. Don't pretend it's anything else. It's just like the rest of, our U.S. currently, pretending that, things are going so great, but, people are just really struggling to buy just basic items. I know a lot of people voted for Trump to lower costs, but let's face it, we didn't get that at all. A lot of people I've been talking about, I've talked to people around here, where I live in Montana, that voted for him, and they just feel like they got tricked, lied to. Yeah, a lot of people have been tricked and lied to, Why? Because there seems to be this need to really worship the wealthy, and I guess give all your dollars to the wealthy as well. And I can't do it. I'm not the guy to do it. I will not gaslight people like this congressman here. GOP congressman tells Americans prices are up for the good of the country. We may as well have, just our big hobby gurus spitting the same stuff out too. Prices are up for the good of the hobby. No, they're not. And I think that a lot of people entered this hobby in the pandemic, and they just saw the exit doors after a lot of these prices, and these prices just keep going through the roof. And 2025 has one of the toughest rookie classes, just total BS rookie class. There isn't much there. Just about as rotten as 2021's rookie class. I just feel like the gaslighting in this hobby, the gaslighting in this country is getting toxic to the point to where, do you feel like you're going to have to go in the hospital? My blood toxicity level is just getting too much. I'm getting poisoned day in and day out, So I'm not sure, what to say about this. I know you have a lot of, these hobby gurus on YouTube who you try to downplay these prices, that try to lead you, well, buy singles. I've said it myself. That's what I like to do, is buy singles, maybe rip some junk wax, because there's endless amounts of junk wax to rip. But once again, when you get into this hobby, you want to go for those awesome cards. You want to be able to afford, these awesome products. Instead of maybe watching a guru, rip them open on YouTube. And I just feel like a lot of people who are entering the hobby are just going, boy, I don't even have an opportunity here, And so it's just like, and then you have Pokemon, going, but you have an opportunity over here with the Pokemon TCG people. And guess what? You really do. You can afford the product. You can get it graded, whatever. And to a certain degree, you're still living the life of early, 2000s, 90s sports card hobbyists. Sports card hobbyists, I don't know. I just look at sports card hobbyists and go, I feel like we're like amateur golf players, and we're being forced to play on the most expensive golf course, that's exclusive, that's imaginable. And I just wish it wasn't this way, But that's what happens when you allow monopolies to hijack a hobby, and you allow a lot of people to gaslight other people, is people just would prefer to stick their head in the sand and pretend it's not really going on. Look left, look right. The sky is not blue. The clouds are not white. It's like, give me a break. So anyway, how do you feel about all the gaslighting? Not just, in sports card hobby currently, but our current, realm of politics. I told you how I feel about all politicians. I'd put them all in alligator Alcatraz. Democrats, Republicans, independents, you name it. You're all going in there. I'm tired of you all. So anyway, if you have any different opinions on this, leave some comments. Comments are awesome. Apparently there's a lot of people who gauge, content with comments. I don't know why. Just watch the stuff. That's what I do. And I'd like to thank my subscribers. Thank my recent subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, all you have to do is touch that subscription button. It's 100% free. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here.